You've been called a war hawk. You've even called yourself a hawk on terrorism, right? And now that upsets some people. So, what you want to explain what you mean by that?
And a dove when it comes to regime change wars.
Yeah, so that's what I first.
So it's something that
attracted
a
me.
lot of people don't understand, right? When people talk about forever wars, what does that mean? What are they referring to? Because there are different wars that are being waged and that our country is waging right now. We were attacked on 9/11. Al-Qaeda launched this attack and began and waged this war. Al-Qaeda and terrorist groups like ISIS that have branched off from Al-Qaeda remain a threat. They are a threat to the security and safety of the American people. Both as a soldier, as a member of Congress, and as commander-in-chief, that is a threat that we need to defeat to ensure our safety. The regime change wars that our country has been waging, most recently in Iraq, in Libya, in Syria, the U.S.-led regime change interventions that we're seeing in Venezuela, how leaders in this administration are beating their war drums, trying to lay down the groundwork to go to a regime change war in Iran. These are all things that counter our interests in this country. They undermine our national security. These wars, the regime change wars in the Middle East, they strengthen terrorist groups like ISIS and Al-Qaeda. They increase the suffering of the people in those countries where we're waging these wars. They take a heavy toll on our service members and our veterans, and they cost every single one of us in this country, which is something that's not often talked about. The trillions of dollars that are going to pay for these regime change wars, they're coming out of our pockets. And they're coming out of our pockets instead of saying, how can we use the limited resources that we have to address the very real, urgent, pressing needs that people in this country have? That we still have sick people in this country who can't get the health care they need. That we still have people in this country in cities like Flint who are being poisoned by their water. There are urgent and pressing needs. I talk about this issue, the cost of war, so much because addressing it and bringing about this sea change in our foreign policy is central. It is central to everything else. And now we're in a place where we're facing a new Cold War with these heightening tensions between the United States and nuclear-armed countries like Russia and China. Nuclear arms race being kicked off, Trump withdrawing from the INF Treaty, rather than building off of the historic change that Reagan and Gorbachev negotiated by strengthening the treaty and expanding it. We are in a dangerous place as a result.